then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and upon their Lord they put their trust, their reliance, the tawakkul. And in this khutbah, inshallah, I want to discuss this last concept. Because it is one of the attributes, one of the characteristics that we mentioned that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the true believers must possess. And so therefore it's very important for us to realize what is a tawakkul and to do our best to make sure that we are possessing this characteristic in our lives. And inshallah I want to just highlight some. There are many aspects related to this concept of putting our trust and reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And inshallah I want to just highlight a few of them here today, inshallah. First of all, the basic meaning of putting our trust and reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or tawakkul implies al-i'timad. We are relying upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa-at-tafweed. We are handing our affairs over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are admitting our inabilities, and we are leaving the matter for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And on this point actually, when you think about what is tawakkul and how often we think of ourselves as putting our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should be, for example, to give an example that many ulama have given, although it's not, of course, a complete and perfect example. If you think about a small baby, and this baby, the only one that this baby really knows is its mother or its parents. And it puts its complete trust and reliance in its mother or its parents, and trust whatever they do for it. And whenever there's any fear or any time they feel that they're in danger, they go back to the mother or to the parent or whoever, that they have developed this trust. And even sometimes, what the parent might do for them, at some level they might dislike. Even, for example, the child may need a vaccination. Vaccination is painful. But they understand and they believe that what the parent is doing for them is best for them. They have trust and faith and reliance and this close confidence in one another. Even if it is something painful, they believe that it is something good because they trust their parent or their mother. Sometimes the way we react with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we demonstrate a kind of lack of this true trust and reliance in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For example, we set for ourselves a goal. And this is the way that many people, when they think of tawakkul, they think of it in this way. They set themselves a goal, and then they do everything that they can to fulfill it, and they leave the rest to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is all wrong. And if we set our goal, we do what we can, we follow the asbab. We follow the causes that we see in front of us in this life. One of the best examples we have of that is the example of Hajj. Abraham was leaving Hajj in this barren land with her child and not saying anything to her until she asked him, Allahu amraka bihada? Is it Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who ordered you to do this? And when he said yes, then she knew and she said that Allah is not going to let us go to waste. She put her trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we see that at the same time she followed all of the asbab within her means, looking after the child and trying to find water while keeping an eye on the child and going back and forth to see if there's any way she can find water and help and bring help to her child. Even though she knew absolutely that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was not going to let her and her child go to waste. But she followed everything that is within her means. All of this asbab that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given her the ability to do. And this is also part of a tawakkul. That we do follow all of this asbab, all of the means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us the ability to do. Does not mean that we just sit back and we think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us even if we don't do anything. But one of the mistakes that we make, as I said, when we set that goal for ourselves, and we're supposed to leave the matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we do not achieve that goal, or when that goal is late in coming to us, or when we think that it hasn't happened by the time that we expect it, many times we get frustrated. We get frustrated and upset that this goal has not been met. I've even heard brothers tell me that they did what they could, and they put their trust in Allah, and it did not work out. And they were upset that it did not work out. And this demonstrates a lack of understanding. This demonstrates a lack of understanding of what it means to hand over the affair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because handing over the affair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala includes believing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to bring about the best result. You leave the result to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It may not be what you intended originally. It may not be what you had hoped for and thought would be best. But it is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what the one that in whose hands you left the issue with, has decreed. When you hire someone, for example, if you hire someone to do a job, and you declare to this person that you trust them, and you have confidence in them, and you believe in them, and you will rely upon them to do the job, if you make those statements and then afterwards you follow up everything that the person does, showing that in reality you don't trust them, you're not going to rely upon them, you don't have complete faith in them, that is how sometimes we deal with respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When it comes either to our rizq, to our provisions, when it comes even to the da'wah and nasr and getting support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we are really truly turning all of the affairs over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it means that we're going to accept, we follow what we can do, we do everything within our ability, and we are going to accept whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed. And I can assure you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not going to wrong you in any way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in a hadith Qudsi, Ya ibadi, inni haramtu dhulma ala nafsi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, oh my servants, I have forbidden for myself any kind of dhulm, any kind of wrongdoing, any kind of injustice. So if you have the real trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the real confidence and faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know that He is not going to be unjust or unfair to you in any way whatsoever. And if you follow the proper means and follow the proper steps and really put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the proper way, then nothing but good shall come in the end. When I say nothing but good shall come in the end, I do not mean that good that you yourself had already concluded is the only possible or correct result to come about. Because if you had all that knowledge and you knew exactly what is best and exactly what you should do, then there's no need for you to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But in reality, you are admitting that you don't have that knowledge. You don't have that understanding. And you have to accept whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed.